He's back, guys. Oh, he's back, alright. Yes, indeed he was. I was a little nervous going into this movie. Especially after his last two movies. Anyway, hey there guys, what is up? It is Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I don't remember the last time I sat down in front of a camera in my normal surrounding and shot a movie review for a 2015 film. I think the last one I reviewed was Cop Car, which was like at least 3 weeks ago. That being said, the last couple weeks in movies hasn't been all that great. Nevertheless, I am here to bring you guys a review for the man himself. He has stepped forward and brought us a new film, and it's a new thriller. And of course, I had to go out and see it and see if it was just going to be another one of his giant stink piles like his last several films were. And of course, guys, the film I'm talking about in this video is The Visit. Yes, guys, The Visit is from director M. Night Shyamalan, or as a lot of people like to refer to him lately, M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. Okay, that's what the name that a lot of people have been associating him with after his last several flops. This is a man, guys, who has had an extremely talented early career. He gave us one of the best thrillers ever put to film, The Sixth Sense. I love that movie. To this day, the twist in that movie, even though when I saw that movie when I was a kid, I predicted that twist early on. I don't know why. Like, I saw it, I don't know, but I predicted it early on, even though I still loved it. I thought it was genius. Regardless, he has made, you know, films that have gone down in quality over the years. I'll talk more about his track record later on. All we need to know is he's the guy who did The Last Airbender. The giant stain on cinema, as I like to call it. So guys, I went and saw The Visit tonight. I finally got some free time to go to a movie, and I went to this theater I've never been to before, and I got this poster for Black Mass. This movie doesn't even come out for a week, yet I am extremely thrilled for it because it looks awesome. Johnny Depp, not a fan of him, but the movie looks good. Anyway, let's get on to the review for The Visit. So I went to this giant theater, and I went at night. Not a good idea because I was in an auditorium filled with people who would do non-stop talking and screaming and laughing throughout the entire movie. And that's, in a way, for this type of movie, it was worth it. But guys, The Visit, yes, is M. Night Shyamalan's newest film, and it is sort of filmed in that found footage style. It is a found footage horror movie in a sense. But it's also a horror comedy, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But basically, guys, the premise of this film, when I jump right into it, is essentially this mother has her two children. She has a young son, he's like 13 years old. I think his name is Tyler in the film. And she has a young daughter, Rebecca, who is actually apparently a filmmaker, and she's in the process of making a documentary. I don't think per se she's a filmmaker. I think she's specifically just making this documentary of this trip that her and her brother go on to visit their grandparents who they'd never seen before. They go out to somewhere, I believe it was Pennsylvania, maybe I'm wrong though, and they go to stay for a whole week with their grandparents who they've never seen before. And their mother, played by Catherine Hahn, constantly calls them on Skype or, you know, talks to them. And they're spending this weekend with their grandparents. And when they first get there, you know, all things seem happy and joyful. You know, they're having a good time. The grandmother's baking cookies. You know, the grandfather's showing them around, and they're, you know, really enjoying themselves. Then things start to get slowly but surely weird after, you know, after, you know, night rolls around. It's after 9:30 at night. They're hearing clawing. They're hearing weird noises coming from outside their room. And the kids realize that their grandparents are absolute freaks, essentially. And there's something much more deeper going on, but that's all I'm going to say. Crazy things just start happening at night with these grandparents. They are not normal. Something is up. And that is essentially the premise of The Visit, and that's all I want to say because that is really essentially what the trailers marketed this film to be. And yes, guys, because when I watched the trailers, I had absolutely 100% strong doubt going into this movie. I'm going to be honest, I was, in a way, not dreading seeing this. Even after the reviews started coming in, which were mild and not bad, I was still dreading this movie. I really was. And I don't even think it was because the trailer looked bad. Because there are some extremely corny moments in the trailer, and even though they may or may not come off that way in the film, I would say they were handled a lot better because the way the trailer is meshed up, I mean, it just looks like your standard low-grade, you know, found footage horror film with jump scares galore. I mean, that's what The Visit looked like in the trailers. But the movie itself, before I get into the movie itself, I would say the reason why I was extremely skeptical going into this movie is because it was M. Night Shyamalan's hands. He wrote and directed this movie, I believe, and I was very fearful because of his last several films. Now here, let me go down the list of Shyamalan films really briefly, just to sum up my thoughts on them, because he has had a very interesting yet very shocking filmography. Let's see. First off, we had The Sixth Sense, I believe, was one of his first big films, and it is, in my opinion, his best film. I did not see Unbreakable. Then we had Signs, and I did see Signs extremely young, and it must not have been that great because I don't remember it. I need to watch it again, though. But it goes to show you that I love The Sixth Sense because I remember that movie very well. But I only remember seeing Signs once. Then I did see The Lady in the Water, I think the week it came out, and I was very young with that as well, but I do not remember a thing from that movie. I just remember Paul Giamatti was a guy who stuttered. That's it. That movie was not that great at all. I did not see The Happening. The Last Airbender is one of the biggest disgraces ever put to film. I remember I actually enjoyed that movie the first time I saw it. Why? I don't know. I was like 14 years old. I had a problem. And I did see After Earth, which was not as bad as The Last Airbender, but my God, that movie was insanely boring. And I just felt that Shyamalan had seriously lost his path. Like, he was just not going to make a good movie. That's why I just wasn't paying attention to the guy anymore. I was like, the guy has nothing left. He's done. He's washed up. He had a great twist and a great concept with The Sixth Sense. But that's it. The man that we knew from that movie is gone. But after having seen The Visit, I am going to say this much, guys. This movie definitely surprised me because this was nowhere near as bad as it looked or nowhere near as bad as I feared it would be because of the director/writer attached, Shyamalan. I'm going to be honest, there are moments of The Visit that I think actually really worked in this movie. This movie actually surprised me quite a bit, and I would say the surprise really comes in right when we are introduced to that trademark Shyamalan twist. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I do not remember the last time I went to a movie and there was a twist or a scare in a horror movie or a comedy or in a horror movie or a thriller or whatever where what is revealed as a result of this twist, this plot twist, literally sent tingles and shivers down my spine and made me start shaking. I'm not even joking with you guys, okay? That happened in this movie, and for that I wanted to sincerely applaud M. Night Shyamalan because I did not think, one, I did not expect that in a million years. Two, that is how you do a horror film. That is what you're supposed to do. That is what I wanted. That is what I want but didn't expect going into this movie. Okay, deep down I'm like, okay, I really want this to be good. Oh, no, it would be awesome if it would really, like, you know, just scare the hell out of me for this one moment, for this one gorgeous moment, genius, brilliant moment in the screenplay. And it did. It worked. And it scared the crap out of me. It's just one of those, like, moments, and I'm not going to spoil a word of it because if I spoil anything of it, this entire movie is ruined. Like, because this is one of those twists where you are looking at this movie one way, and by the time the movie ends and you know what is a result of everything, you're going to look at the movie a completely different way. You're going to be like, holy crap, they did that. Oh, no, wait, that's why they did that. Oh, that's why these characters didn't know that. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just one of those twists that just gets you thinking, and you just sit there and can't help but applaud Shyamalan for the idea. I mean, I don't know, where was this, why didn't he make this film sooner, okay? Why didn't he make this film when found footage was at its peak, okay? This would have really, like, he should have made this right after The Last Airbender, okay? Or right after The Happening or something, because then people would have been like, okay, Shyamalan is finally back on his track, because this is probably the second best movie I have seen from him. Out of all the films I can remember or recall seeing from him, this is probably my second favorite of his. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because everything else is utter crap. This is actually something completely different and something that is in for, that, you know, I think many of you guys are going to be in for a treat with. Now, I could get into most of the common tropes that you're going to find in your typical found footage movie, and this movie is not free from those sins in any way. Okay, you have your typical jump scares where the camera is motionless, it's holding on a shot, and you know that a character is trying to open a door very slowly. You know something is either going to run at the camera, something's going to scare the hell out of the main character, or one of those, okay? And yeah, I was like, okay, he's going to open the door, someone's going to jump out and scare him. There you go. It happened. Okay. And movies rely on that, and you know what, I went to this giant audience, okay, I was with this giant audience of mainstream audience members, clearly, because they were literally screaming at every single jump scare in this movie. And yeah, okay, I personally find jump scares extremely cheap, and they're extremely predictable. However, with a movie, you know, like this, any type of mainstream audience members like that, it's going to scare the hell out of them. And it did, okay? It worked, clearly, in this movie. But there's a few jump scares that definitely worked on me, okay? I'm going to be honest. Yes, they're cheap, but they worked on me, and I'll be honest. I legitimately got, you know, felt the tingles. I felt the shivers. I was like, this is actually working, so I got to give this movie credit. Yeah, there's a cliche here or there, but there's always that little twist of originality that's sprinkled throughout this movie, and that's really what kept my engagement and kept me interested in the movie as much as it did. And something that also extremely worked well for The Visit, apart from, you know, that little hint of originality, that little just that showcasing that Shyamalan still has just an inkling of brilliance left in him, and he can still push out a great story with an amazing plot twist if he really puts his mind to it and really focuses on it. Something that extremely worked well for me was the fact that this movie is half horror, half comedy. I laughed a decent amount of time in this movie. I'm trying to think of the worst comedy I've seen this year. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But I don't remember seeing a movie where I laughed more or unexpectedly laughed more. Not in the type of sense that oh, it's so bad, like this is that type of movie. It's so bad. The humor that they try to make funny as a horror comedy is so bad. No, it's actually good humor. It works. The young brother in the movie, he's like this rapper. Okay, he's trying to be a rapper. It's freaking hysterical, to be completely honest. I laughed. It worked. I bought it. It was funny. There's some great humor with the grandparents as well, some of the things they do. There is this one chase sequence, man. My entire audience and I could not stop laughing at the end result, and it's just like, anytime there's like a joke or anything they go for like some bit of humor in the movie, there's like a shot of something, and then there's like a few seconds of silence, kind of like something like Grown Ups would do. However, this actually worked because the gag they were going for actually was funny, and I actually laughed at it. Thank you. Okay, I mean, this is the only type of horror movie I can think of where in the final act of the movie where characters are undergoing massive peril, okay, I ended up gut-bustingly laughing at one moment, okay? Half of us are screaming, the other half of us are laughing at this one moment. I cannot spoil it, but if you'd like to discuss it, I will discuss it gladly down below in the comments if you've seen the movie. Regardless of that, I also feel the performances were very strong in the movie. I thought the kids did a great job here or there. I even thought the grandparents did very well in their roles. You know, they're very creepy and they're extremely quiet. And there's just, the minute you met them, you just get this off feeling sort of vibe that something is fishy with them. And you just get that vibe throughout the entire movie. And you know, the actors really did a good job. I will give them that without a doubt. The found footage gimmick, found footage either works or it doesn't work. I'm going to be honest, this is better than some of the more recent Paranormal Activity films we have had. And no, I'm not looking forward to the Ghost Dimensions. Guys, The Visit was actually a big surprise. Point blank. I'm actually recommending you guys go see this movie. No, it's not one of the best movies of the year. No, it has its cliches here or there. Yes, there are some jump scares, some cheap jump scares thrown in this movie. All that said, I still cannot get that twist out of my head. It is one of the most effective movie moments of the entire year so far. When I pick my top 10 at the end of the year, this movie will not be on that list. But as I'm picking that list, I'm going to be thinking about the best scenes of the year. That moment, that big reveal, is one of the best scenes of 2015. I am not joking with you, because of how it affected me and how I felt as I was watching it. For that reason, I have mad props to M. Night Shyamalan for actually pulling off a good movie, and I'm going to be very generous with my score. I am going to give The Visit a grade of an 8.75 out of 10, or a B+. Guys, please, if you can this weekend, go see this movie. Don't go see The Perfect Guy, because that looks terrible. Go see it. It's worth the money. I would definitely say, if you're a fan of horror movies, if you're a fan of thrillers, if you like comedy mixed into horror movie, and if you like it, and if you realize that it has a good blend, then go see this movie, okay? Shyamalan, thank you for finally giving us a better movie. This is a movie we needed from you to realize, yes, you still have good ideas. Keep giving us these good ideas, okay? Thank you. So, guys, those are my thoughts on The Visit. Thank you so much for watching my review. I really appreciate it. And, of course, guys, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for sticking with me, as always, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.